thieves and things that rob your hair's joy. So I am trying to get connected here on my platforms, and I hope you all are well. Just give me a second. I'm trying to see if I can get connected on my Instagram and my Facebook and my YouTube. So, hi everybody, how are you? Hi, Miss Carolyn. So, if you saw my story, I put my on my story that I want you guys to join me at 8:30 because I want to talk about theft and hair growth. So, I am here today because I want to talk about some of the things that robs your hair's joy. If you guys don't know who I am the hair loss lady. I am a certified IET trichologist, and I am a functional wellness practitioner here in New Jersey. So if many of you haven't seen my page, I know I'm not here a lot, very often because I'm usually trying to work in my business. I'm the only person in my business. So it's a lot for me to be on a live every single day. Then I have to handle my clients, run to the post office, clean the salon, you know, help my clients with their trichology needs. So it's a lot for me to have to kind of be on point and be on TikTok every single day and doing lives every single day. So I try my hardest to just think about the content I'm going to create, make sure it's relevant. Sometimes when I put stuff together in my brain, I just want to talk about it. And I am here today because one of the many things that bothers me a lot is that hormones play a big part into how well our hair grows, how well our body functions, and hormones run the game. Hormones run everything. I'm not sure if you guys understand it, but when your hormones are out of whack and your hormones are out of balance, it can cause a lot of issues for your body and a lot of issues for hair growth. So I am just going to talk about that right now. Let me know if any of you guys, I have a couple people on TikTok, I have a couple people on my live stream on StreamYard. Let me know if any of you guys, because I want to know if any of you have ever had a hormone imbalance. I'm going to talk about myself really quick because this may be helpful to some, it may not be to others. I'm gonna come out the gate. Thyroid balance. Thyroid. When your thyroid is imbalanced, it can cause issues for how well oil secretes on your skin. If your thyroid is out of balance, especially with PCOS, you can have excess androgen production. You can have a lot of hair growth in places you really didn't want no hair growth, excess hair growth on the chest. You can have excess sebum production because when your thyroid hormones are out of balance, it can cause issues for your hair and your skin. Now, I'm going to talk about myself for a hot minute. Before I really got heavy into the wellness portion of hair and beauty, I was just a hairstylist. I got out of beauty school in 1987. I didn't really become into wellness and trichology and how health relates to hair growth until like 2010. I didn't even know nothing about trichology because when I was in beauty school, I entered beauty school in 1985. They wasn't talking about no trichology in 1985. Trichology wasn't a thing until 1987. I started working with David Salinger in his program in the IAT in 2010, 2011. Trichology came into being with David Salinger and the original creator of WTS in New York, David Kingsley, in 1987. So I say all that to say, I know y'all don't care nothing about that, but I want you all to know I didn't know anything about trichology and health and wellness and how it relates to hair growth until at least 2010, 2011. I went to college, 1987. I dropped down to a part-time load. I consistently did hair. I was also an insurance agent. I wrote life plans. I was really into financial wellness. I did hair and I did financial services to put myself through college. And along the way, I noticed some things that had happened with my own self. So let me all know if y'all can relate with me as far as this is concerned. I always had really fine hair, but I noticed that when I was in my early 20s, the quality of my hair started changing. And I know A lot of what was going on was thyroid related. I had massive acne, really, really bad acne all over my skin. I had really bad acne beneath my cheekbone. I had really bad acne on my face. It was just constant. I always had really bad acne, pock marks, black marks, and bumps all over my face. I had the craziest sebum imbalance. My hormones were out of whack so bad. And it had also come to the point where I could part my hair down the middle, or I could just go like this in the light, and I could see that my hair, you could see right through my hair. My hair was so thin. Let me know if any of you guys can relate to that. It had just got to the point where I was just like, in the world is going on with my hair? I didn't know what was going on. And this was, let me see, early 2000s. I didn't know nothing about trichology and hair loss at that point. But I noticed that I was having a lot of issues with my hormones. My menstrual cycle was all out of whack. I was on the pill, off the pill, on the pill, off the pill. I didn't have a regular partner. Then I did have a regular partner. Then I would have a regular partner. Then I would get on the pill and I would get off. I didn't know about hormone balance, hormone production, and protecting your hormones back then. I wasn't connected to Christ. I was all over the place. I was sleeping around. I was doing my thing. I had no idea that I really needed to protect my hormone balance back then. I knew nothing about it. Fast forward years later, I understood that my thyroid was doing a dance. I started developing a goiter. If you guys can see this here, I started developing a goiter. It never got so out of whack. If you can you see this here? Can y'all see this? Let me know if you can see it. Thank you so much for my hearts. Thank you on TikTok. I never knew then how much having a thyroid imbalance is connected to your hair. When your thyroid is not producing the way it should, it's going to cause an imbalance on the amount of sebum on your scalp. It's going to cause an imbalance on how much you sweat. It's going to cause an imbalance on how well your hair grows. And I did not take care of my thyroid. My thyroid, because it was trying to balance through the levels in my bloodstream, hormones are constantly cycling all throughout your body. Your pituitary, your hypothalamus, and your thyroid are constantly sending out signals to each other. So we have the president and the vice president, which is the pituitary and the hypothalamus. They send signals out through the blood called hormones. Your thyroid has to interpret what is going on through the blood all day long, 24 hours a day, so it can help balance you out, keep you balanced. I had no idea that my thyroid was growing bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger because it was trying to balance my hormone levels. Along the way, I noticed, my hair was thinning. I'm getting into menopause because now I'm going on 57. So as y'all see, I I started understanding you have to protect your body's peace as far as your hormone balance is concerned. So once I started learning that I had a goiter, I had to understand why it happened. My thyroid was trying to produce excess thyroid hormones because it was severely out of balance. When it tries to produce excess thyroid hormones, it's going to grow more thyroid tissue. When you grow excess thyroid tissue, it's going to cause a goiter. So I started growing one here on this area. I go get it analyzed every so often. They wanted to do a biopsy. I said, no, I'm not claiming it. I'm going to try to work on it naturally. So I did what I could as far as bringing balance to myself, got myself off of the pill. I definitely tried to eat right. I tried to balance my body's hormones, my stress hormones, my blood sugar. I try to do all that I can. But I am here today because I just want to talk about some of these additional thieves in your body that robs your body's joy, contributing to some of your hair and scalp issues, some of your hair growth issues. So we're going to talk about these thieves. So please put some information in the chat. Let me know if any of you guys have had any hormone imbalances. And we're going to talk about some today because when your body does not have balance, balance as far as eating right, eliminating, detoxifying your kidneys, your liver, and your gut, your stress levels, your trauma levels, your sleep. When your body is not balanced, when it's not getting enough of one thing and too much of something else, the imbalance in the body can cause an imbalance in your hormones. Hormones are one of the biggest contributors into making sure that you have great hair growth. If you have too much of one thing, again, and too little of another, it's going to cause an issue in your hair growth. So we're going to talk about this. Thank you so much for my hearts again. If you guys can put some information in the chat, because I want to talk about it. If you guys have had any issues, I shared a little bit about me, share a little bit about you, because this isn't about me. I sometimes I think about things that I want to share and try to make it plain so that you guys can understand. So I'm just bringing maybe about 10 concepts here to you. So I'm always praying to God, asking Him, please let me know how you want me to be relevant to my community. Let me know what I need to be doing. Do I need to stay in teaching? Do I need to stay in hairstyling? Do I need to stay in health and wellness? Let me know where you want me to be, Lord, so that I can be more effective for you. So He's always allowing me to find things so that I can present them and share them with you. I follow a doctor on TikTok, and if you guys can, Instagram, and if you guys can, please follow him. I had already been putting these pieces together in my mind, and I said, okay, I just need a little bit more clarity. I'm not sure how to bring all this together. A lot of times I'll have things swirling around in my mind and I just don't know how to put it together. But when I do put it together, I'm like, bam, that's it. That's what I was looking for. So I follow this doctor called Toxic Free Doc on Instagram, and he's always putting up, relevant information. And I followed him, and he put this guide up, and I said, bam, that's it. I needed that. I needed that to give me more clarity so that I can give this to my community. When he shared some of these items and how they steal hormones from the body, I said, yep, that is it. I like to talk to my clients about their blood sugar and their cortisol and their estrogen levels and menopausal levels. But I'm telling you all of these are focused around hormones. Everything I'm going to talk about today, right now, for the next 20 minutes is circulating around hormones. So please, everybody, if you can put some hearts. Good morning, Miss Marcia Green Jackson. Thank you for joining me today. I really appreciate it, because you could have been doing something else with your time, but I got you for about 20 minutes. So if you got any questions, just put them in chat. So for the next 20 minutes or so, I'm going to need y'all to just send me some little hearts, send me some little brown hands, white hands. Please do what you can do, because I just want to know that y'all are hearing me, and I don't want to just be talking to be talking. So I want to say thank you again for joining me today. And like I said earlier, I don't get the chance to come on here pretty regularly because I'm usually busy. I have to, balance my books. I have to do things for my bookkeeper so she can stay off my back. I have to, send emails, stay on top of my social media. I have to make sure I order my products. Like, I always have a million things to do, and I'm not always on my social channels. But please, if you can follow us, because when I do come on, I'm always trying to share relevant information as far as helping women and men with their hair growth. Anything that I'm usually conveying and relating on my social channels is always connected around hair growth, making sure that you eat properly, make sure you balance your hormones, make sure you balance your insulin levels and your blood sugar and GLP-1 meds. And when you get stomach surgeries and gastric bypass surgeries, how that affects hair loss. Anything that I usually talk about is always circulated around hair loss, because I usually try to talk about what it is that I see on a weekly basis. And I have a lot of ladies that come into my trichology center in Pleasantville, New Jersey, where I help them with hair growth and hair loss issues and trichology issues. A lot of what I see is connected to hormonal balance, blood sugar, and digestive issues and gut issues. So today we just going to talk about hormones. So I want to say hi to all of my watchers and viewers. And again, if y'all have any questions, please just put them in the chat. I'm trying to just say hello to everyone here on TikTok. And I have 5 in here right now, but I am going to get started. I'm going to open up my information. Okay. Oh, Miss Cynthia. Okay, I'm gonna read that. I'm just gonna finish saying hi to everybody on TikTok. Thank you so much for putting your information in. Let me read that, because I'm one. Oh, thank you for my hearts. Thank y'all. What I want to say is, let me see. Well, TikTok, let me pin this notice. I haven't been on here in so long. Sometimes they take away some of your abilities, and I can't pin a notice to my page. But what I want to say is if y'all got any questions, please just leave them in the chat because I usually go through my lives later and I answer all of those messages. Or you can send me an inbox. But this isn't to sell you guys anything. This is just to convey information. And again, I am a certified trichologist. I'm a functional wellness practitioner. I'm a holistic practitioner here in Pleasantville, New Jersey. And yes, I do this for a living. I am a certified IIT trichologist or a hair loss professional. So again, everything that I do is circulated around helping clients with hair growth and scalp issues. Okay, so I wave to everybody on TikTok. So Miss Cynthia Jack said, my cortisone is so out of whack. My midsection is swelling. I'm 59, going on 60 in February. My menopause is horrible. Miss Cynthia, hopefully some of what it is that I share during the next 15 minutes, and I'm going to try to go through it quickly, will help you because I'm in the same boat. And I say to myself all the time, I eat the same. I don't overeat. I'm kind of about the same as I was 20, 30 years ago, as far as what it is I like to eat, how I like to eat, and in what proportions. I still exercise moderately, but because your cortisol is so out of whack, when your cortisol level rises, it causes your blood sugar to rise. When you don't have an effective way to support your adrenals, that blood sugar causes insulin to rise, and it can cause you insulin resistance if you're not in a period of insulin resistance already. Insulin resistance has its own markers with eye pain, eye floaters, skin tags, yeast that's out of balance, brown nails, brown toes because of the amount of yeast in your body, hair loss. It can cause you so many different things. So when I say to you, Miss Cynthia, that you need to support your body's adrenals, you have to support your body's adrenals with essential fatty acids and cortisol support. So if you need some more information, please send me an inbox, send me a message, because like I said, this is not to sell you guys anything, but if you do have questions, I do have small remedies that you guys can check into. And I also have a hormone guide that I can allow you to read for purchase. If you would like the links to any of that information, I can send it to you, because this information is helpful, especially for women like myself who are over 50, because no matter what you do, if you do not support your body's adrenals, which is more important over 55, if you don't support your body's adrenals, that menopausal weight, that cortisol belly is going to catch up with you, because everything else is taking a dive, but adrenal and cortisol and insulin production is always going to be very, very high. That needs to be protected when we're over 55. And believe me, I'm with you, because I'm right there. I don't like the way my body is developing, but that's just a part of that menopause. If I had more time to spend in the gym, I promise you I would. However, spending that extra time in the gym is not as important as balancing and supporting your cortisol, your stress hormones, and your essential fatty acid production. Okay, so hopefully some of this that I'm going to share today is going to help. And this is real talk. I am not trying to be nice at all. I'm cutting straight to the chase. So I'm going to keep on going. If you guys have any questions here for me on TikTok, please let me know, because I got to get started. So one of the first things I want to talk about is sleep. Now, a lot of us don't want to sleep. We want to sleep with our phones. We want to sleep with the TV on. We want to stay up all night. No, 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 no. That's one of the 7 pillars of health. We have to get our sleep. How does it affect our hormones? Poor sleep and poor circadian rhythms, it will cause an imbalance in your progesterone, in your melatonin rhythms. Now, your progesterone is what helps your menstrual cycles and your female balance. Half of the time in the month, we're on like a 28-day cycle. Your estrogen rises sometimes at the 14-day mark, and then your estrogen goes down and your progesterone goes up. So when our body is consistently out of balance because we're throwing it out of balance by not getting any sleep, staying on the phone all night, keeping that blue light on, keeping the Wi-Fi on, keeping the TV on, when you're not getting sleep, you are causing imbalance to your circadian rhythm. So sleep regulates progesterone and melatonin rhythms. Progesterone is a hormone, melatonin is a hormone. We're talking about hormones today and how it robs your body and how it robs health. So when your melatonin is low, your hormone cycles become chaotic and hair growth slows. Okay. Number 2, menopause. I'm talking to my over 50 daddies, and for some of y'all who are not taking care of yourselves. Some of y'all are hitting menopause in your 30s, going through sweats and all kinds of crazy foolishness. Your hormones are so out of whack. Your periods are so out of whack. You're barely having a period. Yeah, y'all. When you are not taking care of yourself, when you are eating processed foods, eating sugar, eating things, and not cooking your food in cast iron or stoneware, when y'all keep cooking all that stuff in plastic, all those xenoestrogens from plastics and drinking stuff out of plastic bottles and cooking your food in plastic, all those hormones, these chemical stealers, the thieves. Today's live is about thieves, hair growth thieves. So when you are absorbing too many xenoestrogens, they are hormone stealers. They mimic hormones on our receptor sites in our body. These chemical messengers, these xenoestrogens, fake estrogens from plastic and chemicals, these chemical estrogens occupy hormone receptor sites. They block real hormones from doing their job. So you have to make sure that you carry your food to work in glass containers. You can go to Ollie's, you can go to ShopRite, you can go to any discount store, Walmart, and get small glass containers that you can cook your food in, even silicone. But don't cook your food in plastic. Try really hard to stay away from xenoestrogens and toxins such as aluminum. Don't put aluminum deodorants under your arm. Get aluminum free deodorants. Make sure that you are, if you can, clean your food properly because there are chemicals on our food. All of these products, there's xenoestrogens and toxins that cause really bad imbalances in our hormones. Also, if you are low on essential fatty acids, selenium, cholesterol, magnesium, and zinc, your body can't even build the hormones properly to help your body do its job. And that's why we have so many issues with hair growth. And then we see our hormone balance and our hair growth kind of going back and forth. Our hair is thriving 1 minute, then it's not. It's thriving 1 minute, then it's not, because it's hormone balance. I'm going to keep going and I'm going to be quick with this, running through all this. So if you guys have a question, please just put it in the chat. What I want to also connect with you on is y'all got to forgive people. Talk to someone. I don't care if it's your elder in your kingdom hall, if it's your priest, if it's someone in your church, if you pay to speak with someone, if you have a good girlfriend, a sister friend, or a second mom, you're welcome, Miss Dawn Monique Knowles. Yes, ma'am. Menopause early at 41. I started going through menopause like 3 years ago, and I'm going on 57. So I really started hitting in my late 50s. So menopause is a big thing for me. You'll have to forgive people, talk to people, and deal with your mental issues. Forgive your brothers, forgive your sisters. If you're still worrying about stuff when your brother and sister did to you at 5, they locked you in the closet, whatever, you guys have to deal with it. Talk to someone. Get your good girlfriend, get your godmom, get that sister friend. I don't know who you have to talk to. Some of us don't have. I'm gonna get to that in a minute, Miss PW Insto too. When you guys don't have people to talk to get this off of, and you don't deal with your trauma, let me share with you how trauma affects your hormones if you don't know it already. Number one, sometimes when you see that person, you think about that person, you think about that trauma, and it's unresolved, and you experience it from other areas, something very similar. Sometimes that PTSD, when that stress is unprocessed, your body stays in survival mode. It is heightening your nervous system. When your nervous system is on high alert at all times, when you constantly like this and you're always ready to pop off and you always mad and evil, that is not cute. I just want to say to y'all, that's not cute. When you're always ready to just let everybody know how you feel and give everybody a piece of your mind, no, that's not healthy. That's not healthy. Yes, we know you bad. Yes, we know you can read a room and lay everybody out, but that's not healthy. That's not healthy. When your body's staying in that survival mode, the high impact to your nervous system is causing your cortisol levels to rise constantly, staying on high alert. Like I said, it's going to raise your insulin levels. When your insulin levels are high, your body is constantly flooding you with blood sugar, blood sugar, blood sugar. It is also contributing to the inflammation you feel in your scalp, in your joints, in your body. So when you're always stressed out, your body's sending out stress signals, causing inflammation in your body. You get sicker quicker, you stay sicker longer, and your body stays in pain. That inflammation does does not help your hair and your scalp. It also contributes to more hair fall because of your nervous system will cause your hair to essentially enter into the catagen and the telogen phase quicker, more often because you're constantly on high alert. That is not a good thing for your hair and your scalp. As far as your hormones are concerned, it raises your cortisol, it raises your blood sugar, it raises insulin, it heightens pain sensitivity and shuts down your gut. Sometimes you can't even go to the bathroom, you can't poop. And that's a big thing for me as a trichologist and a hair loss professional. I'm constantly talking about the gut. I know I don't make the greatest videos, but I put up stuff all the time. When your gut is out of whack, 70% of your immune system, up to 70% of how well your body takes care of you, is lodged in the gut. So it shuts down the gut. A lot of people can't poop. And then on the flip side, sometimes when your gut is out of whack because of all the stress, it causes people with IBS to have peristalsis happen quicker. Sometimes they can't control the way the body releases feces from the body. Sometimes it gives you the bubble guts and you're constantly going. So some people it shuts it down, some people it speeds it up. I say all this to say that stress and that trauma and how you deal with things, you got to take a woo side, turn your phone off, tell people no, stop being a people pleaser. My husband, he stresses me out a whole lot. That man gives me PTSD. I constantly have to stay on myself as far as making sure he's good because he freaks me out a lot. He doesn't like me to constantly and consistently check my phone because he thinks I'm doing something on my phone. When it's not that I'm doing something on my phone, I'm a business owner. So I'm constantly checking my phone because there are 1,000 things for me to do. When you have someone in your life that doesn't really see you as an entrepreneur, how you move affects how they move, and how he moves affects me. So he just really worries me a lot. So my level of anxiety has increased since I got married, and I've only been married less than 3 years. So please, how you deal with your stress, your own PTSD, I need you to be able to find a way to deal with it. Do a woosah. Find ways to relax, connect, and protect your peace. Because when you don't protect your peace, it robs your body of hormonal functions that are imperative for hair growth. So I'm going to keep going now. I talked about xenoestrogens and toxins. I talked about poor sleep. I talked about unresolved emotional trauma. I talked about menopause. Now I'm going to talk about chronic infections. As a trichologist, I have a lot of women and men that come to visit me of all shades. So chronic infections affects us all, whether it's Lyme disease. I have people in my tight circle who deal with Lyme, and it is not easy. My daughter's younger cousin has Lyme. I have a brother in my Kingdom Hall. He has Lyme disease and it affects him and his joints. I have people close to me in my circle who deal with chronic infections, and they rob your hormones. It steals your body's joy. Like I said, this live is about thieves and how it robs your body of the necessary processes it needs to grow your hair properly. So I'm going to talk about it. Chronic infections such as viral infections, like I just mentioned, gonorrhea, syphilis, lupus, Lyme disease, chronic viral infections, viral loads, HPV, viral, anything viral can cause an issue with your hair growth. I have talked about this on many lives before, but when you have a viral load, it suppresses your body's immune system response. It's a chink in your armor that you can never get rid of. That can always have an impact on how well your hair grows because your viral load affects your immune system. I'm here today talking about thieves that steal your hair's joy. Viral loads are one of them. Thank you so much for my hearts. I appreciate it. One of the next things that drains the immune system, steals nutrients from your body, and weakens the gut are viral infections, bacterial infections, mold, Lyme, BV, dental cavities. These are bacterial infections. BV in the vagina is a consistent bacterial infection. And when I talk to my ladies about vaginal health, I'm always asking my ladies, how is your vaginal health? Do you have frequent yeast infections? Do you have frequent bacterial infections? Do you have frequent problems with leaky discharge in your vaginal cavity? And I have to ask this because if you're having a challenge with vaginal health, I have to now back into what type of problems you're having with your vaginal health, because then that gets into your vaginal flora or the pH levels in your body. And when you're having chronic infections, that can rob your hair's joy as far as allowing your hair to grow properly. So again, chronic infections, viral loads, bacterial infections, cavities in the teeth, BV, Lyme, everything, viral loads, bacterial issues, fungal issues, protozoa or worms in the gut. They steal vitamins and nutrients from the body that you would need in the gut, and as far as protein synthesis and hormone synthesis needed to grow hair properly. So you guys, you have to make sure that you are taking care of your body's needs as far as if you get sick or you get ill. Once you have certain things, sometimes they become part of you. And if you don't stay on top of your body's needs as far as getting pre and probiotic bacteria, making sure that you're uh, protecting your gut, making sure that you're taking things that can support your immune system, such as your echinacea, your golden seal, your colloidal minerals, your colloidal silver, your oregano oil, natural items like that. When you don't take those when you feel bad and you take nothing but antibiotics, you rob your body's natural bacterial health in the gut by taking consistent antibiotics. Your body never really gets a chance to fight on its own because you're consistently robbing it of its good bacteria needed to protect you. So then your vaginal flora gets out of whack. Your body really can't ever effectively deal with the bacteria or the virus or the protozoa or the fungus because you're constantly giving antibiotics. So when you guys are in search of a natural antibiotic, please let me know. I'm your girl. I got a Trichology Center full of natural antibiotics. Go to Google and look up natural antibiotics when you're having these problems, because just being able to take them consistently a couple times a week or making them a regular course of your diet. Oregano oil, the carvacrol, the levels of carvacrol in oregano oil, the 70% minimum carvacrol is a good aid for digestion, and it helps to get rid of bacteria and yeast in the gut. When we have high amounts of blood sugars, y'all, ladies, y'all know, y'all know, it causes problems with that itchy kitty. So Turnip G said, don't go to Google. They on the doctor side. Well, Turnip G, when I say that, I'm talking about going to Google to look up like natural antibiotics, because aside from the doctors being behind Google, which, I don't doubt, when you're just looking for basic information, things like that, just finding things about colloidal minerals, colloidal silver, 500 parts per million, 50 parts per million, 100 parts per million, using um, oregano oil and things like that. You can find things like that on Google. But I do understand. I'm with you. I feel you on that. So I just, want to just keep this easy for everybody. I'm not trying to make this hard, but I'm really trying to let all of you guys know how hormone balance is so important. You have to protect your body's peace by supporting and regulating your hormones. So I'm gonna go back to my StreamYard page for a second. Give me a second, y'all, because I want to make sure that I am connecting with everybody. So Miss Cynthia Jack said, yes, you will inbox me. Okay, great. I'll be here. Miss Cynthia Jack, you said you crave more sugar than I do food. I understand. Excuse me. So what I want to share with you, Miss Cynthia, and others, the more sugar you consume, the more your body's going to crave. It's as if you have a soil bed in your body. The soil bed is sugar. When you want to grow things, what do you need? You need more sugar to grow more sugar. So if you keep giving your body sugar, 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 you're going to crave more sugar, produce more um, yeast problems in your body because of the sugar. You're going to have more inflammation in your body and pain and stiffness and swelling. You're going to create cycles in your body that you can't effectively deal with and get rid of. You're going to have consistently high insulin levels because of the sugar levels in your body. You will have consistent vaginal issues. You will have consistent issues that come from having high sugar and your body's need to crave more sugar. If you can, try to find other ways to deal with your snack fix. My husband, he is a type O, and when I tell you he eats everything that breaks down into sugar, cakes, pies, wheat bread, everything an O type does not need. My husband is the sugar magnet. So I think he's got you beat, Miss Cynthia. But I do understand. Find ways to replace the sugar in your diet. And if you can, and I know you don't need it, and just hear me from a place of love. You don't need them donuts, you don't need them snacks, whatever it is that you're eating because you love sugar, cut it down, cut half of it out. The sugar is not good for our bodies. It's not good for Americans. We thrive on sugar and processed food. That sugar is not good. So I apologize for delaying you in answer to that comment. So Miss Cindy, you said pray him out of that situation. That is just my husband. He is just always watchful of what it is that I do. So I have to just, be mindful that when I'm around him, I try not to check my phone and be so involved with my phone. Because when we first got together, he knew I would work like a Hebrew slave. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I'm sorry if that offended anyone. I work, 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 work. And because I'm a solo entrepreneur, that I'm the only one in my business, I'm always on my phone. I'm always thinking, plotting, planning on how to convey something more effectively, how to get things out, how to uh, draw people into my business and what it is that I do so that I can help more people. So I eat, sleep, breathe my business. And that kind of bothers him because he thinks sometimes that I put it in front of him. And it's not that I put it in front of him. I have been doing this since I came out of high school, since I was 17. So like I eat, sleep, and breathe hair. I can't think about nothing else but hair. So for people who don't know me that well, it's hard to take. So my husband hasn't known me as long as I've known myself, and I I do love him, but sometimes I am just always on my computer trying to create and design and do things to make what it is that I do easier for you guys to digest, because being a trichologist and dumbing down the information, it's not easy. Because when I have clients that come sit with me in my trichology consultation, sometimes they just be like, oh my God, that was a lot of information. And I understand. So I try to find ways to attract people to my message by making it easy and making it bite-sized so that you guys can understand and want to uh, become involved in what it is that I do. Yes, Miss Cynthia. Okay, for the cosmetologist. All right now. So yes, I really would suggest, if you can, if you haven't already, please become connected. Here's my husband now. Hi, babe. How's everything?
Good. What are you doing?
I'm on a live session right now.
All right, call me back when you're done.
Okay. All righty. Bye bye. So that was my husband checking in. So yes, I say all that to say, Miss Cynthia, if you can check out becoming a hair loss practitioner because many of us don't understand how health and wellness relates to hair growth. A lot of us need to be more connected, more in tune, and we need to learn more about how health and wellness can affect our clients and our own hair growth. And that's why I'm here. A lot of what I pull from has happened to me, which is why I can share it with you. So I'm going to keep going. And if you guys have any more questions, just put them in the chat. But I'm going to keep going on to the other 5 points that I want to really stay connected with. So again, when you guys have issues with your thyroid, and I started out talking about my thyroid. When you have issues with your thyroid really takes its direction from the pituitary and the hypothalamus. Please make sure in your diet, one of the things that takes precedence over how well your hormones are being balanced is the amount of processed foods that you eat. When you eat a lot of high processed foods, things in a box or bag in a drive-through window, and you do not make your own food from scratch, and you use ingredients and products that have 15 ingredients in it, that is not really good for the glands in your body, for your hormones. When you eat a lot of processed foods and your foods are not as close to natural and raw as possible, they're not lightly sauteed, lightly steamed, and they're cooked to death. You take out all of the minerals and you add minerals and salts and fats and waxes and food colorings that aren't good for your body. Those products severely impact how well the mitochondria, the energy producing centers of every cell in your body, grow, split, divide, and make new cells. When I talk about this, I'm talking about the amounts of processed foods, how it compromises hair growth. When you destroy the mitochondria of every cell in the body, that's every cell, your lip cells, eye cells, heart cells, muscle cells, hair cells, the level of processed foods weakens the mitochondria of every cell in the body. This impacts how well your hair grows, and it also impacts your hormonal balance. When you eat a lot of processed food, it creates high amounts of liver fat. I have an amazing number of people who visit my trichology center who have liver fat, high amounts of liver fat. Your liver is a gland, it's an organ. It needs to detoxify your body. It needs to work with your gallbladder to digest fats. It helps with vitamin D synthesis. It helps with cholesterol production. When you guys are eating nothing but processed food, Goya packets, Goya food, everything in a box, everything prepared, it is it is tearing up your liver. Thank you for my hearts. It's tearing up your liver. It's tearing up how well your body can convert cellular growth, cellular regeneration, hair growth. It is destroying how well your body clears estrogen from your body. A lot of us have issues with our menstrual cycles. Our menstrual cycles, I have talked to women who say they can feed a small country with the amount of blood that they bleed each month, going through pads every other hour. When you are messing up your body's hormone balance by all the processed food that you eat, you can't explain away why you're having weight gain, periods that don't come, periods that never leave. We have to do better, everybody. Hormones affect how well the body moves, how well it connects with the brain as far as your dopamine levels, which is the hormone, your serotonin levels from the gut that talk with the gut and the brain. When we do not protect our body's peace, when we do not protect our body's hormone balance, it's going to cause you problems the whole way around. Your hair is heavily influenced by hormones, proteins, and nutrient availability. When these are balanced, your hair grows strong consistently. But when your body's hormone balance is disrupted, it diverts energy away from hair production. And because hair is considered non-essential, and because your body don't really need hair to survive, that's why your hair starts to go bye-bye, poof, bye-bye. And you know, I say this all the time on my videos. If you watch me on my TikTok videos, I always say, when your hair says, oh, I don't like it here, it will say, oh. When things get better in your body, I'll be back. But if things aren't good around here, I'm out. I will take a back seat. I will divert my energy into different areas where it's needed. And when everything looks good here in your body, I'll be back. But right now, I'm out. That's essentially what your hair says. So when your body is not balanced, it's not doing right, when you're not giving your body what it needs, when you want to eat everything in a box, in a bag, in a drive-through window, you are messing up your body's liver fat. You're creating so much excess liver fat. You're destroying mitochondrial function and your hair growth and your hormone balance, because your liver cannot detoxify your body well. It cannot clear estrogen from your body, which gives you those high periods, high heavy periods, or imbalanced periods, imbalanced menstrual cycles. So I say all this to say this is about thieves that rob your body's joy and steals your hair growth, steals all your hair growth efforts. So let's get into stress. I talk to everybody all the time about stress, 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 stress. Now, when my clients sit with me during my trichology exam, in my functional wellness exam, I talk to them about their lives, their husbands, like my own husband, their work life balance, who you're taking care of. Are you taking care of your grandkids? Do you still have adult children at home? Do you have adult parents that you're taking care of? Do you have two jobs? Do you have a job? What is your work life balance like? Do you make time for yourself? Do you put everyone first? What kind of stresses do you have? Are you very angry? I can kind of sometimes tell when people reach out to me how much stress they have in their lives because of how they connect in their emails and their text messages. And if you don't get back to them right away, people, they upset. I don't understand it sometimes. I like everyone to understand, and I put it out in messaging all the time, that I work by myself, so I don't always have the benefit of being there for every call. So I use AI receptionist. I have two. One helps me schedule, one does all my chat functions. So when someone reaches out to me, they will more than likely encounter my chat receptionist, my AI receptionist. Well, people don't like that. They want to talk to you personally. They don't care that you are the only one in your business. If they call, if they send you a text, if you take too long, they upset. If you're one of those kind of people, you have to remember that we all have lives. We all drive on these roads together. We all hit together. Just take a woosah and just breathe in and breathe out. It's going to be okay. If you are severely stressed, that can raise your cortisol levels. And again, like I said, when you have cortisol production and is essentially high all the time, it's going to also raise your insulin levels. When your cortisol is high and your insulin levels are high, your blood sugar is constantly being secreted all day long. That is going to cause your hair to be just about on fire. For you guys that are very hormone sensitive, when you tend to lose hair in this top section of your head, I have my hair in a ponytail so you can't see, um and I'm trying to show you the top of the head. When you have hormone imbalances and you are hormone sensitive, when your hair tends to fall out or gets really thin on the top, you have to watch your stress levels, because when your cortisol levels are raised, when your blood sugars are raised, and your insulin levels are raised, a lot of people have excess sensitivity on this top area of their scalp. They tend to lose a lot of hair in this zone because this is the digestive zone. When your digestion is poor, you will start to see recession here. Right behind it is that mid scalp. This area here is very, very sensitive, and you will start to see a lot of thinning hair in this area. And I see it all the time. Right behind it is the nutrient absorption and inflammation window. So these three areas are pivotal. So when your cortisol and your blood sugar and your insulin is very high and it is consistently out of whack, this is that area that gets affected. So my sister said, D Bell 268 said, "Good morning. What's the name of your services you use for assistance?" I have all of my information. If you can, Miss D Bell, all you have to do is tap. Now you can't see it because if I go all the way up, you can't see. But if you look above and you see me sitting there like this at the top, you see SPO hair loss with a little heart, a gold heart that says two. If you tap that, that's going to lead you to my bio. When you go to my bio, you'll see all kinds of information, a 15-minute free session to connect with me about your hair loss. If you want a free assessment and a free guide as to what you can use to get started to help balance your body's needs, fill out that free assessment. All of my information is right on my bio. You just tap it above. So I hope that helps, Miss D Bell. If you're lazy and you don't allow your fingers to do the walking, you can always just send me a message and I will just send you the same thing in a private message. A lot of people are lazy. They don't want to read. So I'm just saying that just to say it. You're welcome, Miss D Bell. Thank you. So again, like I said, this live today is about thieves and how it steals your body's joy, how these thieves impact your hormones. Hormones, when they're consistently out of balance, it will cause you tremendous issues for your hair growth and your skin health. So let me keep going on. Now I've talked about cortisol. Please let me talk about gut imbalances. Gut imbalance. Like I said earlier, if you guys are not going to the bathroom, if you're not clearing the hormones out of your gut, if you're not clearing waste out of your gut, you're constantly reabsorbing bad bacteria. You're constantly reabsorbing things back into your body, and it can cause leaky gut. When you are not consistently eliminating going to the bathroom, you essentially will reabsorb those toxins. People who reabsorb toxins back in their body and have weak gut permeability, we usually call these types of people those with leaky gut issues. You can see evidence of leaky gut on your skin because you'll have acne all across your chest. Sometimes I see people everywhere when they have white beaters on, no t-shirts, and I can see the acne all over their arms and their chest and their back because I usually go to the gym a couple days a week and I see it. I can see toxicity. When you are toxic, you're not able to clear this from your colon effectively and it causes you problems. It can also back up, cause you excess yeast, cause you imbalances on your skin. Your skin will be extra sensitive and you're not able to effectively clear hormones from your body. When you're reabsorbing hormones, it throws off the present level of hormones in your body. So you have to clear your gut. You have to do consistent cleanses on your body. I don't care if you're using Super Cleanse by Nature's Secret. I don't care if you're using some kind of fiber. You have to be able to clear that waste from your gut. So Ms. PWINSTO2 said plastic water bottles, are they safe to drink out of? Not really. I try to tell everyone if they can try to put your body in a carafe, in sort of some kind of carafe. If you have water in a plastic bottle, they've already been sitting in it. We're already drinking plastic, whether we like it or not. But what I like to tell everyone is if your plastic sits in the sun, if it's sitting, it's just constantly leaching more plastics into your body. If you can take the water and put it into a carafe, don't drink it from plastic, don't store things in plastic. I don't even care if you put it in a refrigerator. I don't even like to store stuff in plastic. I use stoneware and glass. I don't use aluminum foil. I use Pyrex containers and I use what do you call that? Scratching paper. I can't think of it right now. Um I use paper, the cooking paper to use in my cooking instead of aluminum foil. So no, the answer to your question is not really, not really, not really at all. It's not really good to drink plastic out of bottles. I mean, water out of bottles. But we are, as a nation, as a people, drinking parchment paper. Thank you, sis. There's enough of us out here drinking water from plastic, and we already have a whole bunch of plastic circulating in our body that we can never get rid of. Our body can never clear them. So my suggestion is don't add to it. We're not going to be able to get rid of what's in our body. There are just some things that, like those forever chemicals can cause cancers. Need I say more? Those plastics that we absorb, we can never get rid of them. We can never filter them out of our liver. We just can't. So when your body is also blocked and you're not eliminating waste every single day, it's an imbalanced gut. An imbalanced gut blocks absorption of iron, zinc, and B vitamins. All these are required for hair protein synthesis and hormone conversion. It also reduces serotonin production. So our gut can't talk to our brain, which is why half the time we're loopy, we're out of it, we don't remember anything. We are we're just out of focus. Our gut plays a huge part. Now I have people sending me messages on Instagram. I am currently on live, so if you're sending me messages right now, I can't answer them until I get off of this live. I'm so sorry. We have to make sure we take care of our gut so our gut can take care of our hormone balance and take care of us. So, like I said, it reduces serotonin production. This affects our mood and it affects hormone signaling to the brain. So, in addition to having high levels of sugar, diabetes type 3 and a weak gut can lead you just you slam right into having brain issues, dementia, forgetfulness, all sorts of other issues because our gut needs to be protected. Our gut needs to move every single day. We need those good, the pre and probiotics, the good bacteria in our gut. We need to be able to clear that waste from our gut. And we need to keep our sugar levels down. So I got a tickle in my throat. Sorry about that. Miss Deborah Black, thank you. If you would like to follow me, I welcome you. I try to get on here at least once a week and let everybody know that I'm going live. So again, if you want to protect your body's hormones, protect your gut, make sure that you're not eating an abundance of sugar, which feeds yeast, which robs our body of nutrient synthesis, iron, zinc, and B vitamins. Woo! Now I'm out of whack. Okay. So when we do have a leaky gut, when we have an abundance of toxicity in our gut that's flooding back into our body, this can cause chronic inflammation, chronic pain in the body, just chronic issues from inflammation leading from the gut. When the immune system is constantly fighting, when you're constantly stressed out, you're constantly eating a whole bunch of sugar that's causing imbalances in the body, it diverts energy away from estrogen production, progesterone, and testosterone production. Inflammation is the key to less hair growth. Inflammation is the key to all the pain that we are suffering. So please, we have to protect our guts peace by making sure we're having good and we're having pre and probiotic fiber in our body and we're eliminating on a regular basis. So please, one of the things I hear a lot in my practice is that gonna make me go to the bathroom? Is that gonna make me go to the bathroom? Why are y'all scared to go to the bathroom? I remember when I was younger and I would eat my grandmother's house. Every time I came to my grandmother's house, she would always give me cod liver oil. She would always give me stuff. And I ain't paying no mind when I was 5 and 6. I just loved my grandmother so much. I just wanted to be over there. She always gave me things. And all I remember is being in the bathroom, being in the bathroom, being in the bathroom. But she made me go to the bathroom because she knew when I went back home to my mom, she would always take those good pressed clothes and those good suits and everything she would get from J.C. Penney and those good stores. She would make sure I left them in her house, and she would always make sure I was pooping when I was at her house. There was just some things that I remember now as a child of a grandmother that I am going to implement when I have grandkids because I know my daughter is probably not going to make sure that my grandchild will be pooping. My grandmother would always give me things that made me go to the bathroom. So I say all this to say going to the bathroom is your friend. That is one of the most important things you can do is eat and poop. You have to make sure you're getting the proper amount of vitamins and minerals in your body every day, which is why I'm always on here talking about take your vitamins, take your vitamins, take your vitamins. And the second best thing you can do is eliminate. You have to eliminate. You have to clear waste from your body. I talk to women. I just talked to a woman yesterday who told me she goes to the bathroom maybe once every 7 days. Jesus help me. What? So please, you have to go to the bathroom. So when I say take your colon cleansers, take your good and bad bacteria, when your levels of bacteria are sufficient in your body, when you're getting enough fiber, when you're clearing the waste from your colon, you're going to the bathroom at least once a day. At least you're eliminating. But I say all this to say, even if you're going to the bathroom at least once a day, there's still pounds and pounds and pounds of waste in your body. There's 40 feet of colon in our body. I know you need to be going more. We all still need to do a cleanse at least once a year, minimum once a year. Clear your liver, your kidneys, and your gut. So let's get to liver since I mentioned liver. When your liver is sluggish, it can't produce vitamin D. It can't help synthesize vitamin D. It can't help you produce cholesterol. It can't help work with your gallbladder to digest fats. And then you're wondering why your scalp has all these liver fat dots. Liver Liver fat dots. They're all over your scalp. You got all these little brown pock marks all over your face, all over your scalp. It's liver fat issues. I see it all the time. People come in and they'll say, well, why does my scalp have all these brown spots all over? Why does my face have all these brown spots? Or why do I have hyperpigmentation? Hypopigmentation is because your liver fat is off. When you're eating foods that your body does not need, type A, type AB, type B, type O, know your blood type. When you're eating foods that are not right, when you're eating meats and fats that are not right for your body, it causes your liver fat to be so out of whack. It causes your liver to be so inflamed. It does not help the gallbladder effectively. The gallbladder cannot work because it cannot process fats that you're not supposed to be eating. That's why when you are type A and type AB, beef and liver and goat and all kinds of things are not your friend. When you are type B and type O, heavier, dense meats are better for them to balance blood sugar. But for type A and type AB, high animal proteins are not your friend. They're your friend when you're B's and O's, but not when you're A's and AB's. So when you're eating foods that are not right for your liver, it disrupts the way your liver detoxifies your body. It can't support the gallbladder and fat digestion. It can't help you process cholesterol. And you can't clear all of the excess estrogen in your body, causing estrogen dominance, causing those heavy, 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 heavy periods. I talk to women every day and they say, oh, I've been bleeding for 3 weeks. And I'm like, that's your norm? So when I have my clients come in for their trichology wellness exam, I also have to see what it is that they're eating. When I see what it is that they're eating, I compare it with their blood type. If my clients know their blood type, I'm usually checking it when they come in for their wellness exam because I have to go back to nutrition. Nutrition is at the bare bones reason, some of the reason why my clients are having all these issues. So you have to protect your liver. Your liver is an endocrine gland. Your liver does a lot for the body. You have to take care of your liver's piece so your liver can take care of you. And eventually, with everything that it supports, it will help you with your hair growth. Now, I'm going to just cut this off because I was trying to be on here for half an hour. The last thing I want to talk about is menopause. When we're consistently going through menopause, now I already talked about how a lot of what it is that we do, it robs estrogen's joy. It robs us of estrogen. It robs us of pregnenolone. Pregnenolone is used to convert into estrogen, progesterone, and testosterone. When we're stressed out, the cortisol steals pregnenolone, which is then converted into estrogen. So when we're constantly stressed, that is robbing our estrogen's joy. We need estrogen to keep our skin supple, to help us with hair growth, to make sure that we are menstruating properly. There are things that we need estrogen for. So when our estrogen is going down, our progesterone levels are going down, that is the signal for menopause to really usher in and begin. Then we're going to have problems with how well our vagina is lubricated, how well our hair grows, how well our body is feeling, how soon we start gaining that menopausal waistband, all of that weight around our middle. GLP production is decreasing with age as well. So we have our body's levels of estrogen and progesterone that are going down, our levels of GLP-1 and our ability to burn fat, that's going down. So we have to support our body's needs as far as menopause is concerned. When we are sliding into menopause, what also happens is androgens, the male hormones in our body. We all have them. It's nothing we can do about it. It's just women have substantially lower levels of androgens compared to men who have more. Men have more testosterone and androgen production, but they have fewer estrogen production than women do. Now, when men aren't eating right, they will develop breasts. They will have larger breasts. They will develop things like gynecomastia. And they will have more breasts and they can get breast cancer just like women can. So we have to watch what it is that we eat because all of what we do affects hormones. If y'all were listening to anything I said, I was talking about thieves that rob our body's joy, that causes imbalance in hormones. Hormones are very important to how our body works and to how well our hair grows. So this is the last thing that I want to talk about. So when I look at my hair, I had a nice strong hairline in my 20s. But I notice, as time goes on, I notice that my hair is thinning, but there's not too much that I can do about that as far as my estrogen levels going down and my progesterone production going down. That's going to happen. I have seen the hairs on my chin, come in a little bit more than I want them to, and the hair up underneath my neck. Yes, I see it, but that's just a part of life. You should always try to make sure that you're taking your super GLAs, your essential fatty acids, your evening primrose oil, your borage oils, your black currant oils. These are going to help women as far as PMS and estrogen levels. Make sure that you're always taking your body's plant phytoestrogens to help support your body's hormonal needs. So whether you use essential oils underneath your lymphatic points, your neck, your armpits, the V in your vaginal area, the ankles, the bottom of your feet, you have to make sure you put the oils on your body and also consume them. Do what you can to balance your body's estrogen needs as far as phytoestrogens before you decide to run to an HRT. I am not against HRTs. I am in support of whatever it is you want to do to make yourself feel better. I say all that to say, when you do get on HRTs, usually women get on HRTs, and I've seen black women, white women get on HRTs, and then they call me because once they get on the HRTs, then they're wondering why their hair is doing a dance. It's getting thinner, it's falling out. It's because you're disturbing your body's hormone balance. All right, wait a minute, TikTok. Now they want me to make sure that I'm still here, so I got to do this thing they want you to do. Okay, so when you get on HRTs to balance your body's estrogen and progesterone levels because you want to feel better, you want your kitty to feel better, you don't want it to be so dry, you don't want to have some of the issues that we get with menopause. I get it. However, you have to not change every other month and every 3 months and every 6 months, because each time you cause a change in hormone production, it's going to cause a problem with your hair growth. It may cause an outflow, forcing your hair from the androgen to the catagen to the telogen phase more often than you want it to, which is going to cause your hair to diffuse or appear like it's thinning, and it's going to contribute to hair fall. If you're also using things like minoxidils, if you stop the minoxidils, it may force your body into the catagen phase and the fallout phase or that telogen phase a little bit more often, because you're affecting your body's hormone balance. You're affecting the androgens on your scalp, and with the HRTs, you're affecting the estrogen and the progesterone. So all of this conversation today was to protect your body's peace, the thieves that are stealing your hormones, stealing your body's joy. When we're going through menopause, we have to remember there is an increased level of androgen production. We can't do anything about that. But I do say again, make sure that you're taking your essential fatty acids, your borage oil, your black currant oil, your evening primrose oil. Make sure you're using your phytoestrogens. Make sure, if you can, because like myself, I'm a type AB and I love my soy. I eat everything soy because soy is going to help me get as many plant phytoestrogens into my body as I can. Now, for those who don't like soy, it's okay. I get it. That's just a suggestion. I hope all of you understood today's live. My rant was about the thieves that steal your hormones joy. If y'all need anything from me, if you have any questions, is that if there's anything I can do for you, if I can help you with a free assessment, if you just want to talk some things out, if you're going to your dermatologist, that's great. Bring all of your information from your dermatologist. We'll talk about it. If you want a plan designed to help you stimulate hair growth, I have to see you, whether it's on a virtual call or in person. I can work virtually or in person. Again, if you have any information that you'd like to share with me on a 15-minute call, we can talk through some issues and I can talk to you about what it is that I can offer you and help you with as far as helping you grow your hair back, and we can connect on those things because I'm here to serve. So I'm gonna just jump back to my StreamYard to see if I have any more questions, and I'm going to jump off. So yes, thank you, Miss Cynthia. Thank you for thanking me. And you said, what kind of probiotics and fiber do you recommend? I have some that I recommend that I usually keep on my website. If I can, I will inbox you and share with you the types of pre probiotic fiber that I give to all of my clients. As soon as my clients ingest it, they're going to the bathroom the same day. It makes your stool a lot bulkier. It makes it larger, and it's helping to, uh, pull excess cholesterols, excess waste from your colon, and it's also giving you the pre and probiotic fiber that you need to help balance vaginal health and balance your body's health as well. I hope this helps someone. If y'all need me, all you have to do is send me a message. You can hit me by going to my bio. Everyone here on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. If you guys need me, all you have to do is leave me a comment or send me a message, and I will get back to you. And I usually try to thank everyone who joined me on my lives. I try to thank you guys by sending you an inbox or just saying thank you on Facebook, Instagram, or YouTube. So thank you very much, everybody, because I got to get ready for work because I have a 10 o'clock consultation that I cannot be late for. So thank you so much for your support every day. And I will try to be back sometime this week. Thank you, Miss Tina. Thank you for joining me. I really appreciate you because you couldn't be doing anything else today, but you spent some time with me. Thank you. Oh, okay. Mara G channel 1696. Thank you so much. I appreciate that because you didn't have to put that up. A lot of people will rather just watch and they won't say anything. So I hope you can share with me what was so good about it, because if you tell me what was good, then I can focus on that and make sure that I concentrate more effort into pleasing people like yourself. So love, peace, and hair grease, everybody. I'm out.